Seema, and I'm recruitment head in Heads Up Corporation, Delhi. So first of all, I just want to thank you all for joining this webinar where we will be discussing some tips regarding formatting your CV, or regarding that how you can make a very powerful CV which will attract the attention of the other recruiters. So before we start, just a single question. You can just all raise your hands, whosoever agree with this. How many people think that your CV is not strong enough to grab the attention of the recruiters? You are doing your level best, but you think that there's something missing in your CV. You can just raise your hands. Okay. So what do you feel that, and what you think, what is the purpose of a CV or a resume in finding a suitable job? What do you think that why we make a CV, or why we are discussing this thing? Yes, Sandeep is going to answer. Okay, so I feel that a CV or a resume, it's a marketing document, or it's a small advertisement which you sell, or which you send to other recruiters to sell your skills. You want to make them analyze your CV and make them and convince them that, see boss, I am the right candidate for this job. So please consider me. And believe me, if your CV is really powerful, you are just a call away from a right job or from your dream job, because the recruiter will call you, and then you will be able to convince this recruiter actually. So it will be a basic webinar. I mean, basic things what I want to discuss with you, and which I feel that most of us don't know, or which we generally ignore while writing any CV. So when we are writing any CV, the foremost important thing is the research part. We don't do the research while sharing our CVs or while typing a CV for this job. What we are doing, that whenever we have updated any CV, maybe 6 months before or 8 months before, we share the same CV with the recruiter. And believe me, that is not right. Just go through the job description first. Read the job description, see what exactly the recruiter is looking for. And after that only, tailor your CV accordingly and share that with the recruiter. It will have a very heavy effect on the recruiter. Because if you don't have those skills in the CV, most likely this employer or the recruiter, he will drop your CV, he will not call you. If I'm looking for a recruiter for my team, even if the person is if I'm looking for a fresher one or for an experienced one, I would be looking for those key skills in the CV. If I can't find the keywords like recruitment, talent acquisition, hiring, etc., and if I find something that the person is an HR person and has not mentioned more about the recruitment, there will be a different perception. I will think that, okay, maybe, may or may not, I don't think he's a suitable person. Let me drop him. Let me look for something that if the person has really mentioned those skills in his CV, then I will call the person, just to save my time. And throughout this, if a person is a fresher or at an entry level position, you don't have any experience into recruitment, just an example, just mention some of the internships or projects, or at least write something about recruitment that you're inclined towards it. Just mention those things. So research part is very important. After that, before you write a CV, you have to decide many factors, that where you are going to write it. Gone are the days when we used to, when we used paper and pen, we used to write it down, or we used to type it, then we used to post it to the HRs or the admin departments. Gone are the days. So while we are drafting a CV, first thing is either use a Microsoft Word or a Google Docs, because these are recognized worldwide. I can open these documents on my laptop, on my mobile, on my tab, anything. So rather than going after some jazzy formats or something, don't go after that. Just use a Word format or a Google Docs. Then comes the font, because the formatting and the structure is very important. Guys, I have seen that most of the people waste their time in making their CV, in giving a classy look to their CV. They use some other kind of fonts. Generally you can see some cursive, right, some jalebi type curly tails. Guys, on an average, we have, as a recruiter, I have to go through 40 to 50 CVs in a day, and I can't afford wasting my time making it readable for me. So the best thing is, either it should be Arial or it should be a Calibri format or a font, and it should be readable, so that I can just go through the text, what you have written, and can finalize whether I'm going to contact this candidate or not. There are many times that when I think that, okay, maybe this is a good candidate, but I can't take that effort that, okay, I can go through the same, the whole profile and can go through the text, just trying to understand what he has written. So keep it simple and crisp. Then always prefer a black text over a white background. Don't use too many colors. More than 2 colors is not allowed in any kind of CV. I have seen people painting their CVs. It looks more like a rainbow for us. It's very difficult, and it gives a shabby look to your CV as well. Don't use fluorescent colors to highlight anything. Even if you want to just highlight anything, just bold the headings. It's easy for us. Don't go after so many colors and then we are doing it. For CVs, for fresher, 1-page CV is sufficient. For experience, don't exceed your CV by 2 pages, more than 2 pages. 2-page CV is okay for us. Give a way or give a chance for an interview. It should be a discussion. If everything is mentioned in a CV, then there's no need to interview you. After that, this is about the font, this is about the structure. Let's start writing a CV. So we will divide the CV into various divisions. We will start with the top. At the top, just mention your name, mention your current location, whether you are in Patna, you are in Delhi, you are in Mumbai. It gives us an idea where the candidate is. For example, there are many candidates who have done their schooling from Delhi and they are currently working in Mumbai, and they had their previous job in Bangalore. So just mention your current location. Don't mention gully number, sector, house number. No one is going to pay a visit. Just mention the current location. After that, you can put down your mobile number. Guys, please be very careful while typing your mobile number. Even if a single digit is missing or you add one extra digit, I will not be able to contact you, or any other recruiter will not be able to contact you. Then comes the email ID. Email IDs have another story actually. It's generally for fresher people. It's really weird when I see such email IDs like kinkypooja@gmail.com or gabrujawan@hotmail.com. Guys, this is not a friendship club. You are going to apply for a job, so it should be a professional email ID. Create a new one, paste it there. No need to mention your PAN card details, your passport details, your religion preferences. No, please don't do it. Don't paste a photograph. If the job is not asking for it. If you're looking for a modeling assignment, then it's something different. But if you're looking for an example accountant role, so what is the fun of pasting a photograph there? So don't do that. For experienced people, I have seen in some of the CVs that some experienced people have mentioned their business contact details. For example, if a landline has been assigned to them in the office, they have mentioned that, or a official email ID. Guys, it's both foolish as well as dangerous. Don't go for it. Just go for your personal details. You can also mention your LinkedIn profile link in the top so that it gets easy for a recruiter to access it. And mentioning your contact details at the top is that once I have got the CV, it is easily visible that this is the mobile number, this is the email ID, I can contact this person. After that, we can, this is one segment. Then we can start with the employment thing, employment history. So this would be in the reverse chronological order. That means latest to oldest. You are going to place your current job role. I mean, what exactly you are right now working. I mean, so just mention the company name, just mention the title, just mention the roles and responsibilities. Don't write in paragraphs. It's really boring. Just mention the bullet points. And if in that company you have achieved something, for example, you have increased the sales by 20%, or you have done some kind of cost saving, just mention that in the achievements. Because if I'm looking for a sales and marketing person and he has mentioned that he's currently, example, he's currently working in Nestle and has increased the salary, and has increased the revenue by 20%, this will be the first thing what will attract me, because I know that I will speak to this candidate, and if this is true, I will be able to market his CV to the recruiter. So this is how you are going to do that. One more thing is there, that before employment history, you can just mention a small summary of your profile. It would be just a paragraph. It's a small paragraph, and it will explain your whole professional experience in nutshell. So generally what it is, that for example, if it's a candidate having 5-6 years of experience in sales in FMCG company, so you can simply mention that more than 5 years of sales and marketing experience in FMCG company, and just mention 1 or 2 lines more regarding your profile. So it gives us a gist that what exactly the person is doing. After that, the employment history, and then we can go to the educational details. If the person has more than 7-8 years of experience, then I don't think that you need to mention your 10th and 12th score. You can just mention your latest 2 professional degrees along with the years. And if it's for the fresher or for anyone who is going to start his career at the entry level, instead of the employment history, you people can mention what your internship programs have been, or any kind of projects, or any part-time jobs, any paper you have written or published. You can mention that. And in the academic section, you can just make a tabular format, where it would be also a reverse chronological order, where you are just going to mention your post-graduation, graduation, 12th, 10th year, and which university or which institute. Generally university will do, and the CGPA. It's okay for us. And when it comes to hobbies, in hobbies, I think it's a may or may not. For experienced people, I don't think that you need to put it, because a recruiter has so many things to ask. So you can skip it. For freshers, if you want to put the hobbies, be very careful while putting any kind of hobby in your resume. Because if you have written, my hobby is playing a guitar, and it's a bluff, it may happen that the person across the table knows how to play a guitar, and he may ask you some questions regarding that. So be very careful. I have seen that while crafting a CV, people use jargons. I mean, it's out of level jargons actually. That, for example, I am the Spartan of the company. I work as a warrior of my team. I am best of the breed. Guys, please don't use such jargons. You never know, it's going to create a problem for you. It may create a problem if the recruiter asks you a question that, can you please explain that how you're a warrior of the team and how you fix the parameters. So don't complicate it. Don't use such things. In employment history, don't write those companies where you have been laid off, or those companies which have asked you to leave. This is going to be you're going to create a problem for yourself. Or if it's a short employment period where you can just 1 or 2 months, skip that. Otherwise you have to give the explanation that why you left the company and blah blah blah, everything. So don't create that. For IT professionals, you can mention your projects, you can mention your the languages, the programs, everything. So this is important for IT people. Biggest mistake while drafting a CV is spelling mistakes, grammar issues, tenses. Please guys, take care of it. You won't believe that we reject so many CVs only on this basis. There are many applications available these days where you just need to copy paste your CV and they will get it done for you. So while writing your CV, get it reviewed by your colleague or get it reviewed by your friend and get it checked. But don't send those CVs where we have the spelling mistakes. You lose out your credibility. Please don't send those CVs. Whenever you are sending any kind of CV to any recruiter, just a request, send the CV in a Word format. The reason behind it is that when we share a CV in a PDF format or in JPEG format or any other format, it gets very difficult for us to edit it. For example, if I have to place if I have to edit something, or I have to place my company logo on the CV before sharing it with the client, I will not be able to do it. Or I have to go through the whole process, that is PDF to Word, and then get it done, then getting it checked, everything. Sometimes the formatting, it also affects the formatting of a CV. So please don't do it. Don't make your CV in box format, or don't use so many logos in your CV, because you never know, maybe the CV is opening in a right manner in your laptop, but when I'm opening it, it may be in a haphazard way. So don't share. Share in a very well format, in a Word format actually. Many people, they put references at the end of the CV. We put our uncle's name, he's working in this company, or we put our friend's name, anything. Don't do it. It is just taking up the space. You can just write references on request. Generally, most of the companies, they don't ask you for references. They do the background verification independently, either through their own organization or they hire someone else. My biggest request is, don't bluff in a CV. Don't fake. Don't use fake contacts actually, because it will land up you in a big problem, in massive problem. You will not only lose that current opportunity, but the company may blacklist you for the future projects as well. And you never know your interview, you may meet your interviewer in some other company as well. So don't do it. Proofread your CV. Before sharing your CV with anyone, double check your CV, get it reviewed by your friends. But don't share your CV without cross-checking it. When you are about to save your CV, just save your CV and give a professional name to the document. For example, my name is Reema, and I have my CV and I am going to share it. So before sharing it, I will save it by CV-Reema Hakim or resume-Reema Hakim. It is easy for both. It will be easy for both of us actually, for the candidate as well as for the recruiter, to locate your CV in our laptops. So please guys, don't underestimate the power of basically a CV, because it will make or break the way. So these were some of the key points what I tried to explain. Now we would be having the question and answer session. You can ask me questions, I would be answering them. And in case after some time you realize that, okay, this was the question I was supposed to ask but I couldn't, so please connect me on LinkedIn. You can send me a message, I will reply on that. Okay, so you can just ask the questions now, or you can just take 30-40 seconds so that we can start it again. Okay, I have a question from Sandeep. That is, I want to know one thing. We need to mention mark of school and question. What does it mean? That you are asking that whether I should mention the name of the school? If this is the answer, then it's not important. So I mean, it's okay for us. You can just mention the university or the CBSE, ICSE, it's okay. I mean, either you, if it's not the question, you can please reframe it. Okay. Short term means when it comes to employment, anything less than 6 months, please don't mention it in your CV. If it's just 2 months, 2.5 months, 3 months, don't mention it. Either you haven't liked the company or the company have asked you to go, so no need to mention it. Okay, so when it comes to certifications, it's okay to have a certificate, but believe me, more things you have, more would be the questions. So, and the recruiter, he doesn't know, or the interviewer does not know that what was in the syllabus actually. So he may ask you any question as per his understanding. So if people are thinking to have courses, so I would prefer that that's okay, you can have it, but it's not a must-have thing in your CV. That's not important. I know many people who have not done any kind of certification. That's okay, they're doing fine in their career. That's okay. Okay, so regarding the objective in the CV, it is a may or may not. For experienced people, generally the trend is going on that the people don't mention the objective, because after spending 15 years in the industry, are you still looking for an objective? So I don't think it's important. For freshers, you can go for it. You can let the recruiter know about your aspirations, what exactly you are looking for in your current future. But for experienced people, it is a may or may not thing. Rizul Mehta has asked a question, that is, shall we mention internships, trainings and other stuff, as we can't show certificates for? Okay, for which we can't show certificates for. If you are a fresher, the first part would be yes, the certifications will do. Otherwise, if you don't have the certificate, the recruiter will find it out, because when they will interview you, they will ask you questions. For example, in recruitment, if I come across any person who doesn't have an internship certificate and claims that she has an or he has an experience in recruitment, then I will ask some technical questions. So as an interviewer, I know that how I can ask or how I can grill the candidate to get the right answer. So that's okay. If you don't have it, that's okay. Otherwise, you can just say that it was a volunteer experience. It's an anonymous attendee. Can we share CV in PDF format as well? Yes, we can, but I will prefer no. Please don't do that, because as a fresher, you have your college, logos on the top of the CV. If I have to share it with some company, I would prefer that I would remove it, or because every college has a set format of their CVs or resumes. So try to share your CV in Word, so that if I have to make any changes, or if I have to, because for fresher, generally companies ask us that you do the first round of interviews, mention your comments in the below section of the CV, and then we will take it forward. But if the CV is in PDF, it will be a headache for me as well to get it converted into a Word format. Okay. So I think that you got the answer for PDF. Okay, you have asked the PDF is better. Why would you put a company logo in my CV? Okay. So my answer is that because as a recruitment consultant, we have so many competitors in the market. And for example, let's take an example of one of the big fours I was working for. So they have almost 70, 80 companies who hire for them. And there was a major issue, that was the duplicity. So I share any CV, the other company can also claim that, okay, it was my resume. Or if my candidate has gone for the interview, the company or some other consultant can claim, or it may create a confusion for the recruiter that maybe this consultancy or heads up has sent it. So if I have my company logo over the top of the CV, it will make the things easy for the recruiter as well. Okay, so during this time, I think that most of you might not be aware that heads up corporation is a big group, so we are into various services and we are always open to ideas. If time permits and we have time for virtual interviews, we would like to welcome people who would like to appear for that. In case any of you would like, one of the candidates has asked me, one of the attendees has asked me for CV writing. So if you want that we should do a CV writing for you, we can do it. That is a separate division which specializes in CV writing, not only CV writing, but also helping you in finding a job. That means how you are going to connect to the companies, connecting the HRs, the companies, doing it digitally as well. So we have a number of solutions for that. You can connect with me on a separate window. Does the absence of internships in a fresher CV adversely affect his or her chances? It's good to have an internship if you have done it. If you have done it, and best is if you have done a part-time job, like for example, if you worked at McDonald's or if you have worked at Big Basket or anything like that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter till the time the candidate is really good. When we interview, we don't only consider his communication, that the person should be fluent in English. We also see that if a person is really a cultural fit as well. We will train him for his skills, but one of the major skill is that the person should be ready to absorb in the company atmosphere. So it's also very important. So having a good CV is one of the plus points, and apart from that, preparing yourself for the interviews and preparing yourself for a job is much more important. We would be coming up with one more webinar where we would be discussing about the interviews, how to crack the interviews, or some tips how to crack it. Okay, Karthik has asked me from NDIM that can he mention extra co-curricular achievements from our school and colleges? Yes, you can mention it, but please make sure that it is worth sharing. If you have done a gully cricket, then please don't mention it. Yes, if it's a national level thing or a state level thing, please do mention that. I have seen most of the candidates, they have also mentioned about their college festival or college fest. So it depends that how you are writing in your CV. If you're just mentioning that, for example, if the company has told you to handle a Facebook page of their, if a college has asked you to just handle a Facebook page, just don't mention in a single line. Just mention that what you have done and what was the effect once you are handling it. So it grabs the attention of the recruiter that this responsibility was given to this candidate and this is the outcome. Don't just simply mention that I was handling the college Facebook page. Apart from that, mention it, that what was the outcome, how you did it. Okay. Sandhya has asked me a question that we should go through JD before applying. My question is, every company has different JD, so we should change our CV according to the company. It depends, Sandhya. If you are a fresher, you have majors in your HR, you are open for recruitments, you are open for performance appraisal, and you are open for generalist role as well. It depends that if the person is looking for a recruiter, then please tweak it. Or if you have a CV in such a way that all these segments are written, that you are open to recruitment, you're open to PMS, you're open to compensation and benefits, then it's okay. Just go through your CV once. That is it fulfilling the purpose or not? What is the best thing for freshers they can come across or they can mention? For any fresher, you just need to showcase that you are the right person. When I interview freshers, they give me examples, childhood examples, or any of their problem solving examples, but that is not possible in a CV. So for that, if you have done, for example, if you have conducted any kind of seminar or any kind of thing where you can market yourself, just mention that. And please, yes, and please, no photographs. Yeah, it's not, it's okay. It's okay if you have a photograph handling a trophy. You don't need to, you don't need to place it in the CV. That's okay. Ma'am, is it okay if we don't mention our phone number in the CV? Then why are you sending a CV? Then how I will contact you? Through emails. But when I post a job, I receive almost 100-150 responses. And when I'm at the calling stage, I have 15 CVs in front of me, and I know that I can call these people and I can share. I have a pressure of sharing the CV by end of the day. Why I will share an email with you? And then I will wait for next day to revert. No, I will not do that. So it's better to have a phone number. If you are in college or something, you can just mention that my college, you can just call me between this to this time. That is okay. That we understand. Okay, so one of Prasad has asked me a question that the CV should be simple or it should have graphics or design will help. Graphic design, generally it's for those people who are into designing part, it helps. But for normal job roles like HR, accounts, or if you're a content writer, I mean, what I feel that it's not important to have logos, graphics, design, everything in your CV, because as an accountant, what kind of graphics you are going to put or what kind of design it would be? It would be a screenshot of a tally? No, so no need. That's okay. Okay, so if it's a A4 size sheet, I mean, it should not exceed more than 2 pages for an experienced person and 1 page for a fresher one. Don't exceed it to 3 or 5 pages. Okay, because it will be very tedious for us to go through it. And I mean, keep your CV short and crisp. It will be easier for us. Okay, I have done a number of internships, then should I mention each of them? It depends that for which role you are applying. If you are applying for HR, then try to mention the recruitment or the HR ones, or the best ones where you had the maximum tenure. For example, there are many people who do 1 week internship as well, 15 days internship as well, and they have also done 2 months internship or 3 months internship. So the best part is to mention 2 and 3 months internship where you had a lot of learning and you have a lot more to say about it. Should I also share like books I read and my key learnings from it, or just mention reading as hobby interest? Yes. Don't mention the books I read. It will take almost 2-3 more pages. So just mention it in the hobby. So in case the recruiter asks you, you may explain that which books you have learned and what are the learnings from it. So we can discuss that in our next webinar as well, where we would be discussing about the general questions asked during the interviews. So you can answer that, and that time we can tell you that how you are going to apply this in one of the answers for cracking the interview. Himanshu has also asked the same question. Himanshu, I think that I have answered it. That should I mention each and every internship in my CV? Okay. So Shubhi has asked regarding a LinkedIn question, that is that we send CVs based on LinkedIn profile, which is a PDF format. Is it good to use, or we should consider a separate docs? See, we have also done it. Sometimes what happens that candidate is ready, candidate is interested for the role. He has shared his confirmation with us as well, but he is traveling, so he can't share his updated CV, or we don't have his updated CV. So the candidate simply says that my LinkedIn profile is updated. So we directly download it from LinkedIn. It's a PDF format only. You can just share it directly with the client if it's not a problem for any of the duplication thing or anything. Otherwise, you can just directly convert your PDF format to Word and get it. Okay. If you are not liking your current job and it has been just only 2 months, what is the reason you are going to give in your job interview? It totally depends. First of all, don't mention that in your CV. If you have mentioned that, then be fair. Because if the company has told you to leave and you give another reason, that is that I have not liked the company or the company was not good and blah blah blah, be careful. The company can do an independent background verification check of yours as well. So it's better to be truthful. If you have not liked the work or you are not able to cope up, accept it. That was a different field. I was not, after joining it, I found that okay, this is not the cup of tea for me. That's okay. We all are humans. We understand it. That's fine. Could you please show any sample of CV with the key point you have talked about, so to understand the formatting in details? Right now I can't show it, but yes, you can just connect me on LinkedIn. I will definitely share a link with you. That's not a problem for us. If we have been a core team of any society at a college, school, how should we show them in our CV? You can mention the projects. For example, you have been a part of the editorial team, so just mention it and what was it. Or you can just simply mention a single liner that I was a part of the editorial team, and just copy paste the link where you have worked. I mean the magazine or some other college book you have worked on, just copy paste the link. That's okay. Okay, so almost I have 10 years of experience, and while recruiting people at Heads Up, it's totally a mixed thing. I see the skills, and as I told you, I see that whether the person can gel up with us or not, if the person is a cultural fit or not. So these are the things what we see, because when it comes to skill, when you join any company, the company will groom you up, and you also need to put some efforts towards the organization through both, that is through your productivity as well as through creating a good atmosphere in that. Yes, it is okay. I mean, it's not a problem if you put your education section before experience. But the thing is, as I told you, as a recruiter, we go through almost 40-50 CVs in a day. So we are keen towards knowing that what exactly that person is doing, rather than going through the educational qualification. That is a secondary thing. If the person is is doing well and is the desirable candidate what I am looking for, so my first criteria would be to go through the experience, what exactly the person is doing, in which company he is working. So that would be my first criteria. So that's why I just told that put your experience before your education. Himanshu, I hope that I have answered your question. Sandhya, yes, you can put your personal technical blogs as well in your technical skills. Yes, and yes, in case anyone has some proficiency in languages like Chinese or any other French, you can mention that. That is one of the plus points as well. Maybe the company will not require it, but yes, you can just put it. But it's mostly for freshers. Should we add a cover letter? It depends, because for freshers we don't have much to write in a cover letter, but for experienced people, yes, we can use a cover letter. But it is not mandatory. It is not mandatory. It was mandatory some years back when people used to draft another one pager for as a cover letter, but nowadays it is not important. Okay, Shivendra, it's not important to have technical jargons in your CV, or it's not important to have powerful verbs in your CV. Make it simple and clear so that another person can also understand it. Like, don't use best of the breeds. Okay. Do you think in today's time building a good LinkedIn profile is also necessary to get the job? Yes. Yes. Gone are the days when we used to upload our CVs on the job portals and we used to apply through Naukri Times Monster. Gone are the days. Now this is the high-tech time where anyone can approach you through any medium. Believe me, I have recruited some people through Facebook as well. So have a good profile on LinkedIn and start connecting to people. Have different groups on people. Have different groups on LinkedIn actually. Thank you. Meda, this is a question. If interviewer asks any question like, do you have any regret in life? Should we be truthful in this regard? That is a question which is being used for the personal interviews. So as I told earlier that we will be having one more webinar regarding this, regarding the personal interview question and how to crack it, what is the best answer to give, and being diplomatic as well. That's okay. We'll just take care of that in another session. Okay, so one of the candidates has asked me that should I prepare my CV or resume for some IIM college interviews? Yes, you can do that. Even for your post-graduations, in most of the colleges, they have a format that for any kind of personal interviews, you have to go with your CV. You can't just simply go and speak about yourself. One more candidate has answered a question that I have a 2-year break after my graduation preparing for CAT. So if I ask how should I handle it in an interview, simply, be truthful. That's okay. I will be conducting one more webinar, or some other person would be conducting one more webinar regarding this. So any other question what you have, or if you feel after ending this meeting that this was the question that I had to ask but it's kept, so please connect me on my LinkedIn page or and send me a message. I will reply that. So is there any other question? I think that we all are done. Give me your feedback as well, and I also need to grow. I also need to learn from you people. So give me your feedback, and I would be really happy in future if I connect with you again. And during this time, I would like to thank you all, and just want to suggest, be safe, be home, and be happy always. Thank you. All the best, guys.